Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Cal OES. My name is Amy Palmer. I am the Deputy Director for Crisis Communications and Public Affairs for Cal OES. We're here today to offer an update on the conditions in Los Angeles and what is coming ahead. At this time, I'd like to introduce Nancy Ward, who's the Director of Cal OES.
Good afternoon. As Amy said, I am Nancy Ward, the Director of the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and I appreciate you all joining us today, and those of you that are joining us online. Since Sunday, before January 7th, fires began, and every day since, the state has been working around the clock to provide the people and first responders in Southern California the support that they need. Our hearts go out to all Californians impacted by these devastating fires and those who have lost loved ones, their homes, and who are displaced. We're here today to update the state's response and readiness for what's to come. Ongoing emergency response to the fires in Southern California, as well as the upcoming weather we see on the horizon. I'm joined by CAL FIRE Chief Joe Tyler and Adjutant General Matthew Beavers from the California National Guard on the massive mobilization of resources that began last Sunday. More than 14,000 personnel are now working to support the efforts in Southern California during this disaster and the ongoing threat. We've brought the whole of government to bear, including firefighters, Cal Guard service members, CHP officers, fire dispatchers, pilots, Caltrans crews, and more. But I'm afraid we're not out of the woods. Severe weather is expected, especially Monday through Wednesday. In anticipation, we have surged even more resources that are poised and continued to be brought to the fight. I urge the people of Southern California to be vigilant and prepared for more high-risk fire weather ahead. I'd like to turn it over now to Chief Joe Tyler to speak more about the CAL FIRE response to the current fires as well as the ongoing upcoming threat. Director?
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Tyler. I am the Director and Fire Chief of CAL FIRE. As was said by Director Ward, these devastating fires, starting on Tuesday with the Palisades incident, progressed through those evenings and into the next day with the fires of the like of the Eaton Fire, the Lydia Fire, the Hearst Fire, the Kenneth Fire, where resources came together with over 7,500 personnel, 1,059 fire engines, 30 initial water tenders, 56 aircraft, and 53 bulldozers. Knowing that we're going to be going into another period of gusty and challenging windy conditions, not only across Los Angeles and Ventura, but we're watching winds pick up in the area of Riverside County, Orange County, and San Diego County. It is important that everyone is prepared. Currently, the Palisades Fire is 22,660 acres. It is 11% contained. The Eaton Fire in Altadena, 14,117 acres, 15% contained. The Kenneth Fire, 1,052 acres, 80% contained. The Hearst Fire, 799 acres, 76% contained. And the Lydia Fire, 395 acres, 100% contained. Now on the Lydia, the Hearst, and the Kenneth fires, as those resources are released, they will be reassigned either to a mobilization center that I'll talk about briefly, or to assist the ongoing fight on the Palisades and the Eaton Fire. We continue to pre-position prior to the first event multiple CAL FIRE equipment as well as local government equipment across Southern California, moving multiple fire engines, hand crews, and firefighters, moving CAL FIRE's helicopters and fixed-wing air tankers into Southern California bases. We did leave some aircraft at McClellan outside the wind-impacted area to ensure we could get them off the ground for firefighting efforts. And once the fire broke out, or fires broke out, it's important to note that we were assisting and continue to assist with the City and County of Los Angeles with incident management teams, both on the Eaton and Palisades incident, and then an additional third specialized incident management team that is on standby for the next event, if any. Our firefighters were facing hurricane-level winds, gusts of 80 to 100 miles an hour. And these winds affect our firefighting aircraft. There's always a question about the aircraft's ability to fly in the wind. And while there is maximum limitations of aircraft flying in the wind, the bigger issue is that the retardant and water coming from them can effectively hit their targets. Firefighters were focused on rescuing people, evacuating residents, and doing structured defense. And we knew water was going to be a challenge. So as we continue to prepare into this next event we're coming forward to, we're increasing resources, as Director Ward said, to over 14,000 first responders, over 1,219 fire engines across California and our partners in the western states, including Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Montana, just to name a few. And we continue to get support across the states and internationally. Last night there was a flare-up on the Palisades incident, in which time we took days resources, some that were down to rest from hard firefighting efforts, brought them back into the firefight to try to keep the fire away from Mandeville Canyon. They continue today to work across those areas as well. In addition, preparation to the 160 water tenders that are available, the 84 aircraft that will be talked about in part from agencies, from private agencies, and from the California National Guard. We are coming together to fight the fight. Finally, 154 bulldozers. Now, it is not common, more rare than not, that in preparation for this event, we set up a mobilization center. That mobilization center was emptied last evening as the Palisades incident started to help fight the Palisades incident, and today resources are moving back into that mobilization center to prepare for the next event. It's important that the public is prepared, and specifically in those counties that I just addressed. I want you to take steps to ensure, if you live in Southern California and should a fire occur, that you heed the warnings of your first responders, both fire and law enforcement. Take steps. I plead you to take steps to prevent the next spark. You can always find real-time, up-to-date information by going to fire.ca.gov, and steps to take to prepare yourself in the event you have to evacuate at readyforwildfire.org. It is now my honor to introduce General Matthew Beavers, the Adjunct General of the California Military Department.
Thanks, Joe. And as the director mentioned, I'm Major General Matthew Beavers. I'm the Adjutant General of California. Give you a quick report on our posture relative to National Guardsmen deployed across the fire-affected area in the LA Basin. We have 1,680 soldiers and airmen currently employed in this emergency. Over 1,000 are currently manning traffic control points 24/7 every day in support of allied agencies across the LA Basin, CHP, LA City, LA County. And we are making good on their requests, not in hours, not in days, but in minutes. We're pre-positioned the right place, the right time to deliver right effects in support of our law enforcement partners, and we continue to do that. We continue to ensure that our posture works very, very well in case we have to grow we are in very, very good position to make sure that happens. The balance of our force primarily dedicated to the next two things. Number one, Type 2 hand crews supporting CAL FIRE. Over 500 soldiers and airmen are currently employed in that endeavor or being deployed into that endeavor. And finally, our aviation assets. 10 helicopters, bucket-equipped helicopters, are available. Modular Airborne Firefighting System C-130s, 6 of those are available. 2 actually just launched minutes before I came to the podium. So I think we're uniquely postured. We continue to grow our strength as needed to ensure that we can anticipate needs ahead of time and ensure that we can meet those needs before it becomes a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Before we take questions, I'd like to remind those Southern California residents impacted by these disasters that assistance is already available to you. OES is in lockstep with FEMA and has mobilized in Southern California to provide disaster assistance. Assistance workers are already on the ground taking applications in shelters. Tomorrow will include libraries, and disaster recovery centers will be open within another day or two. But you can apply for assistance already. You can go to www.disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362 to register for assistance. And lastly, I'd like to say and remind you what Chief Tyler said about being prepared. You must be vigilant. As he said, ensure that you're following your local officials, but also prepare yourselves for even getting those kinds of evacuation warnings or evacuation orders. Prepare a go bag. Make sure you have medications. Make sure you have supplies and for your pets, your children, your family members. And then check on your neighbors and your friends to ensure that they're doing the same exact thing. From there, Amy.
Thank you. Do we have any questions in the room? Seeing none, we will offer the Cal OES media line now, media@caloes.ca.gov for questions. A news release with these details will be coming out shortly. And if you'd like to, those of you who are watching online, please contact that email address and we will make the leadership here available for interviews as needed. Thank you.